Well, hello and welcome to another video from Real Tail Trader. It's fairly early on in the morning here in the UK, just digesting the news overnight, which I'll get onto in a second. Just before I do that, quick disclaimer to let you know that this is not a signaling service. I'm not recommending you do anything that I'm doing. Before you enter the currency markets, my advice is to get some independent advice, and remember, you can lose more than you put into your broker account, so please be mindful of that. With all that said, some news overnight out of Australia. The Reserve Bank of Australia has kept the cash rate at 1.5%. I think the market was fairly mixed on whether they may cut that rate. What's happened since? If we look at the chart here. Aussie dollar, we've had a spike overnight. I'll come on to this in a moment. So when the rate remained the same, buyers came in and pushed. This is the 4-hour chart, push price above to close above the 50 simple moving average on the 4-hour chart. That was really the main news overnight. So kind of a non-event really. I mean, things stayed the same. Australia has had quite a lot of bad news come out recently, as you'll see from this push down here. The market, I really think, knows where it's going. I am sitting on the sidelines for the moment, but I'll talk about that in a moment. Just before we get into the charts, just wanted to let you know that I am now on eToro. eToro is a platform that I've just been experimenting with in the background on a test account. I'm now in a real account here, as you can see, and I've got one position on here, which is I'm buying the euro pound. This mirrors what I'm doing in my other broker account. But if you do want to check out my profile on eToro, then please do that. Oh, there we go. I've got some green there. That must be good news. I'm posting my posts in here as well, so you can catch my videos there. And eToro, basically, it allows you to see what other traders are doing and to copy what those traders are doing. I'm not recommending that you maybe do that until you know a little bit more about the currency markets if you're new to the currency markets, but that's what this platform is really set up to do. So you can find me at etoro.com, people, Simon G Forex. So not Real Tail Trader, but Simon G Forex. So that's there if you want to go and take a look. Okay, let's look at the currency markets. In specific markets, the 15 pairs that I trade. Not too much going on with the pound. Showed a little bit of strength in the last couple of sessions on the 4-hour chart. Euro, similar kind of story. I have a Euro GBP buy on at the moment. They're kind of mirroring each other a little bit in terms of strength, which is not really what I'm looking to see. I prefer to see a divergence in relative strength. It tends to lead to a faster move and a stronger move, but there we are. US dollar, Japanese yen. The yen, we've still got this gap here heading down into the bottom of the range. I'm on the sidelines here, not quite sure what's happening. We'll wait and see what we get down here. And we have the even handle down here, 110.00. A trade I am in is the Swissy, US dollar versus the Swiss franc. I've talked about this trade a little bit on previous videos. This you'll see up here on the daily chart. We've had this consolidation area at this level. I got my signal a few days ago now here on this candle. This was a cross, EMA cross. So basically what happened is my 10 exponential moving average crossed over my 50 simple moving average, which gave me a sell signal. This was on a Z candle as well, one of my proprietary signals. So my trend trade kicked in. I took off a third of my position when the 10 exponential moving average crossed back over the 30 exponential moving average. I lighten up on my positions if the trade is not going my way, but then what we've seen is a rejection of the highs here on this YX signal. Didn't stop me out, and we're now seeing potentially a push down into my target area here, where I'll take off half of my position. So this trade is taking a little bit longer than I would normally like it to take, but on the 240 chart, we're under the exponential moving averages and the 50 simple moving average. The 50 simple moving average is turning down, so that gives me some reassurance that this is a trade I should stay in. Aussie dollar spoken about already. This is news overnight. I had a stop in here. Because this was a high volatile move, everyone came in and bought when the cash rate was announced unchanged. I was slipped 18 points or 18 pips on my trade, so slightly bigger loss than I would have expected or had factored in. You do get slippage in the marketplace, particularly on news moves, so just got to be mindful of that. I had another trade on with regard to the Aussie dollar or the Aussie, so I'll talk about that when I get there, which compensated for this loss. But you're going to get losses in the currency markets. It's just a fact of life, and what you're looking for is to understand your win ratio. My win ratio last month was around about 58%. I've yet to finalize a couple of trades that are still playing out, but if your win ratio is above 50% and you're holding for 2 when you lose 1, you have a profitable system, which is what I have. So let me change and jump into the synthetic pairs, which are my cross pairs. Will take a little bit of time to load. I've got a few trades on here. Let me jump into that. Takes a bit of time. This is my Trade Navigator platform, by the way. I've used a number of different systems. I pay for Trade Navigator. This is a feed I get from the US. Cost me about £110 a month. And you may say, well, why not use the charts in the broker accounts? Well, I trade professionally. I need a professional platform, and this platform allows me to put in my proprietary signals, which you'll see up here. And is a platform that is different to my broker platform, which allows me to sense check the prices that my broker is giving me. So if there's a kind of divergence between my professional chart and what my broker's telling me on their chart, then I can see that visually because I've got a professional charting package here. Anyway, euro pound, I was selling here, as you'll know from previous videos. I then bought back in here. So I'm in a buy position here. This is my first trade on eToro as well. Just started trading through that platform to build an audience there. So bought here on this candle. We've come up. We've now had a little pull back here. So what I'm looking for is a push now up into my target. You'll see I've set my target at the 50 simple moving average on the 240, the 4-hour chart. Which equates to the 50 simple moving average on the daily chart. So there's a probability, a high probability, I believe, that we'll get up, and certainly I'll take off half my position there to make this a profitable trade. Roll my stop to break even. Not seeing much on this pair. Not seeing much on this pair. Not seeing much on this pair. This is another Aussie pair. This is a couple of YX signals. This one news last night, this one previous to that, but yeah, it seems to be quite a bit of strength now coming back to the Aussie, but how long will that last, who knows. Euro Japanese yen, I was in a short trade from up here and got out about here. Since then, not really going anywhere. I'm not quite sure what's happening, so if I'm not quite sure, and I'll never be 100% sure, by the way, I'll sit on the sidelines. And sitting on the sidelines is a trading decision. It's a trading decision if you decide to buy or sell something. It's also a trading decision to sit on the sidelines. Okay, this is an interesting trade, my Euro Swiss franc trade now. I sold it here on a EMA cross over my 50 simple moving average. Since then, we've kind of consolidated here. I have debated whether to lighten up slightly on this trade or to roll my stop tighter. I may do that, but at the moment it's giving me a number of clues that the market is going to push further down. And the first clue is we got the high up here. We had a lower high here. Here, this is a low, and this low closed. You see that? It closed below this low. So we've got a lower high. we've got a lower low. And this looks to be what's called distribution, whereby the market's trying to make up its mind. The late buyer is probably is getting crushed a little bit. You know, if you bought here as a late buyer, now you're under some pressure. So the market is maybe turning around. I don't know. We'll wait and see. But yeah, this has been quite a nice range trade for quite some time, as you'll see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and now here. The only thing that slightly concerns me is the fact that we got this XY signal yesterday, effectively a bounce off the 200 simple moving average on the daily chart. Now, I'd put my target here underneath that level. That target was set on this chart, the 240 chart. So I have mixed views about this trade. I'm going to monitor this trade closely. If at any point price starts to push up higher, certainly if we get a close above here, I'm going to be out of this trade. But we'll wait and see, and I will monitor that every 4 hours and see what shows up and take the signals as they show up. Okay, Euro, Aussie. Now this was my other Aussie trade. I rolled my stop overnight to entry because Aussie news was out. This is the push down, hit my target. My target was set just inside the 50 simple moving average, which is sloping up on the 240 chart. On the daily chart, you can see this. That was the level of the 200 simple moving average. So I had a better target placement here than I did on my Euro. Where are we? On this particular trade. So better. This is a better trade in terms of my target placement. So I'm just going to see what happens now. If we get a close below this level, it will also correspond to a close below the 200 simple moving average. And what I may look to do then is to add to this position. So I pyramid into my positions. I only add to my positions when they're profitable, as opposed to trying to average a loss, which is what a lot of people do when they first start out in the currency markets. So this trade has paid for the loss on the Aussie, AUD, USD. And that's what you sometimes find. You'll have a win trade, a lose trade, a win trade, a lose trade that kind of net each other off, and then you'll have a big win that gets you into a profitable situation. Providing you're sticking with your stop losses, then your losses are always capped at a certain level that you know. If you've ever read the book Pitbull by Marty Schwartz, great book, read it a couple of times. He talks about this in his book. He traded futures contracts, but he talks about the fact that on a lot of trades you'll have a win, a loss, a win, a loss, and you kind of net off, and then it's the big winners that leave you in a profitable situation for the month or the year. So yeah, that's what I'm finding a little bit, certainly over the last few days or so, a little bit frustrating, but that's the nature of the game. On the Swiss franc and Japanese yen, I'm in a short trade here. This trade is in profit. My entry was up here. We've pushed down. I've hit my targets. This trade is holding inside the 10 exponential moving average on the 240 chart. And if I look at my weekly market analysis, then all of my simple moving averages and my daily 10 exponential moving average are telling me that this pair is a sell. So just holding here. Aussie again, yeah, a little bit all over the place. I'm kind of sitting on my hands here. Not really a lot to tell you there. So that's pretty much it. So not a huge amount that I'm watching at the moment, apart from my open trades. I'll get this video posted onto YouTube. If you're watching it on YouTube, then please give the channel a subscribe and hit the notification button. You'll get my future videos, and I'm also going to be posting this on eToro. Just experimenting with eToro at the moment. It's a slightly different setup to what I have with my main broker account, which is ETX Capital. And it's a slightly, I would say there is less opportunities for me to trade my strategy properly, because taking off increments, 50% of my position when I hit my target, say here, is not possible in eToro. So I'm trading a slightly different, more manual strategy, but we'll see how that plays out. So happy trading. As always, be careful in this volatile world of currencies, and take care, and I'll talk to you again soon.